guess he's letting me sit with him. So I went to New York recently for a friend's wedding. It was super fun and it felt like straight out of a fairy tale. Great job to the bride and groom for all the planning. It was so beautiful and yeah, super fun for all the guests. So we actually came in a day early so that we could go explore Yoseka, which is a stationery store in Brooklyn. Kind of a small space, but jam-packed with so many things. I knew I was gonna spend at least 3 hours there. I ended up spending 4 hours there. So I wanted to share with you guys my haul, especially for those interested in fountain pens or fountain inks. And I also went to a couple other places that was really interesting if you're a designer or an artist. So let's check out the New York vlog. It's October now and I've been traveling every other weekend since June, so finally back. And I'm back for more than a month. I want to say like a month and a couple days. So I can finally just work on things, work on more video content, and the house needs to be cleaned. So I'm going to chat with you guys while I clean my desk so that I can show the haul. Alright, so for those who don't know me, my name is Ange, also known as Pikarar. I'm a full-time artist and I do lots of things. I feel like every time I talk about what I do, I just pick a random thing and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. That's what I do. So I do digital illustration. I also do client and brand work. I also travel to conventions and trade shows to sell my artwork. I have an online store. I also have a brick and mortar store in Seattle now with a couple of friends. It's called Pikarar and Friends, literally. I also write books. So I have a book series called How to Draw Cute Things. Each book is a different theme, so the recent one that I made is about spooky things. It basically teaches you how to draw and simplify your illustrations so that they look cute, I guess. These days, I just want to touch grass and just draw in my sketchbook. I think I'm gonna retire and just doodle, you know? Here's actually a bunch of spreads that I did while I was in New York. So starting here, we went to Washington Square Park and I was just doodling the things that I saw. Here are some people doodles. I realized I don't really like drawing people unless I simplify them and make them in my own style. More things that I saw and some thumbnails of the park itself. There was a hula hoop dancer and they were really cool. Sometimes they were dancing with like 4 different hula hoops. Pretty amazing. All right, this starts the spread of the 4 hours that I spent within Yoseka. If you don't know already, I got into fountain pens and inks as a hobby this year, back in January. So that was like 9 months ago. My collection has grown a lot. I probably don't need more ink than I already have, and yet here we are with the things that I got from Yoseka. I got 2 Dominant Industry inks. These are both from Korea. Tonal and Limbs is also from Korea, and one of them is a Yoseka exclusive. This one is Linen Toolbar. It's from Taiwan. I got 4 Robert Osters, 1 Sailor Manyo. We love the sailors. I lied, I got 1 more Dominant Industry. So in total, I got 3. And I'll talk about why I got those specifically because as someone who already has a large collection, there's reasoning to why these are also picked. Yoseka, a beautiful brick and mortar, literal brick store within Brooklyn. The first thing I noticed when I walked in is that they have a stamp station. That's how you know you're a real stationery store, with stamps that are exclusive from the store. This one I kind of stamped not so well, but it is their storefront. It says Yoseka, and then there's this other stamp that I got with a fountain pen, some animals. This one was made by an artist, Yoseka. They also had a section with other stationery goods like washi tape that you could try. So I had some washi tape that I put here and here with some gold. I really like that they let people just use their stationery out in the open like that. I don't know if we have that trust at our physical store, but if anyone has any experience with leaving products out, and I don't know, Do you just trust people? Do we have that much faith in humanity to not steal and damage goods? But maybe that is the point of a sample station, is that it gets really messy. The shelves were lined with different types of papers, different types of sketchbooks and notebooks. In the center of a store was a place where you can test out all their fountain pens. My favorite part of the store is, you guessed it, the corner with all of the fountain inks. There were hundreds of them, and to my surprise, you actually can just grab them from the shelf and swab test them. This is why we spent 4 hours here. We also spent time looking through their swatch books and looking at all the colors that we don't have, that we might want, and then we marked them down and picked out the colors off of the shelf to go and swatch them. I had my sketchbook, which is this really thick coated paper. It's really nice because the colors don't bleed into the other pages. So like this spread here, I'm using alcohol markers as well as paint markers. I use a lot of fountain pens as well, and you see there is no bleeding, and I really like that. The pages also don't really warp, so this paper takes ink and paint really well. We also brought Foam's book, which is a Midori, and this paper is a lot thinner. You can see the ink through the pages. Sometimes it does bleed, but what's nice about the Midori paper is that you can really get the full range of some of the inks. So for example, this pink here, it has some variations of pink, orange, yellows. You have like lighter colors where the ink pools, you can get more vibrant pinks. You just don't get that within my book. So here is the same pink ink within my book. You don't get as much of a range. It's mostly just pink, maybe a little bit of orange in these areas where it's a bit more light, but it's much more vibrant in the Midori. Same with the Robert Oster Earth color. So in my book, this is what the earth color looks like. It's this pale green. I feel like it has a hint of brown, but it's hard to see really. Here's the earth color in the Midori. It's crazy, the variation here. There's a much more prominent like green to brown color. We ended up buying this one. So that's why it was important for us to just try it in both papers. I think what I really like about this book is that it's super durable. If I want to get messy with it, I can go crazy. I can really junk journal and add a bunch of things in here, and I know it's going to stay durable. However, I still like to play around with other papers, maybe thinner papers like the Tomoe that I've been testing in my ink swatches. If you've watched my previous videos, just because it gives like a much more larger range for the colors. It does bleed through, but I guess that is the trade-off that you're making. So in general, when I go to any stationery store, I like to have 2 types of paper just to test and see what the color looks like for both. And I think ultimately when we like both of them, we end up getting that ink. So that's how we made the decision to get the inks that we got from Yoseka. Okay, I will start with the Robert Oster series just because I shared with you guys the earth color. This is really cool. I'm excited to fill one of my TWSBIs with it, which is our favorite brand for fountain pens. Yoseka did carry some TWSBIs. I usually get the broad nib just because I like to draw with thicker lines. So this is like an example of what a TWSBI might look like. And then I also have the diamond, which is more of an architect pen. So the nib is much more square. You can see here it's square versus the regular TWSBI, the Eco one, is more round. We were tempted to get more colors, but at this point we own like 5+ TWSBIs. We need to stop. We need to stop getting TWSBIs. But not stop? I mean, I would be mad if they made more colors. So the next one we got was the bronze color. So in my book, the bronze looks like this. It's like a green color. It almost just looks like a evergreen. In the Midori, the Robert Oster bronze is like it's like a dark brown. It has some shades of like, it feels like black to brown. Can you see the variation? And then in the light areas, it's green. It's more like an olive green than an evergreen. So we liked both variations, so we ended up getting the bronze one. The next color we got, if you're seeing a trend, we got avocado. It's another green. Avocado looks so nice in the Midori. Look at that. This is the dark one. Here's a light and then a medium swab. It's just so yummy. It's a really nice green. The avocado in my book looks like this. It's like a little bit lighter. I also like this variation as well, so we went with that. And then the last one we got was Wind. These are most likely from the same series. They also had other elements, but these were the two that we landed on. So for Wind, here's what it looks like in my book. And then so crazy. Here is Wind in the Midori. So you can see there's a bit of purple as well. And then here is the light blue. Really love it in this book. Okay, so that pink that I shared earlier was the Sailor Manyo series, and the color is Sakura. We love Sailor. I have a lot from their Manyo series, their other series. I want to do like a dedicated video to just Sailor inks and like beginner inks that I think most people would be interested in getting. So that's the pink that I shared earlier. It's the only Sailor that we got from Yoseka. Here is the only Lennon toolbar that we got, which is like a light blue. It was kind of hard to find this one because we found out that it has like a Japanese and a Chinese name, and sometimes it's like written differently in English. So I wanted a light blue because I feel like most of the colors we have are dark, but we don't really have any light inks to sketch or like color in backgrounds. So this is what the blue looks like. I felt like it was a nice light color. Here is the blue within my book. It's so nice, like the light variation to dark, and even then the dark is not super dark. I really like it. So we ended up getting that one, and I will most likely fill it to do any kind of sketching that I might want that's a bit more light. This one is the other Lennon toolbar. My bad. I thought this was Tonal and Limbs for a sec. I just realized it's because I bought Tonal and Limbs for a friend, and this one is actually another Lennon toolbar. Does anyone do this? So this is sealed by a paper, and sometimes I don't want to ruin the seal, so I'll open it from the bottom. But this one is one of the few shimmer inks that we got. It is the Miscanthus Hills, and it is a gold shimmer. I've been really into gold lately. I think just in general. I feel like in high school I did a lot of gold art projects, but I wanted something a little bit more subtle. Here's what the gold looks like in my book. Here is the gold in this book. Kind of hard to see, but it does have a bit of a shimmer to it. What's nice about Lennon Toolbar is they have a little ball in here. It's called an agitator. And so when you're mixing the ink, it helps to disperse all of the glitter around. You don't want to shake the bottle too aggressively just because you're going to cause like a lot of air bubbles and then dilute the ink. So when you mix, it's recommended to go slowly like this. And then once the shimmer is dispersed very nicely, then you can open it and dip your pen in it. And don't forget, don't fill your fountain pens if your fountain pens are fine nibs, even medium nibs sometimes. It might clog your pen. So I usually don't fill my fountain pens with shimmer inks unless the shimmer is really fine. Like I find that Wearing Goal, which is another Korean brand, is okay for broad TWSBI nibs. Okay, this is the one Tonal and Limbs that I got from Yoseka, and it is a Yoseka collab. Special edition. It's called Scent of Lavender, and it actually smells like lavender. I didn't know that they made scented inks, but it's cool that this one was. They actually had two there. One of them was eucalyptus. That one smelled like eucalyptus, and it was another Yoseka exclusive. Really nice, but I felt like we already had a lot of greens. And then here is the Yoseka lavender. It feels like there is like really saturated purple and some light blue. Oh my god, Val, stop. Val, he's playing with this. Evil baby child. Oh my god, stop. Are you gonna sit here? You have to behave. Here's the Yoseka lavender in my book. It looks a bit lighter. I do still see some of the blue, but it is like a paler, more lighter purple compared to it in the Midori. We did try other Yoseka exclusives, like they had a black that was really interesting because in my book it looked grayish green, but then in the Midori, the black, it's really black. I got this one for a friend. It's the Tonal and Limbs Kaleidoscope Hana color. It has a little bit of shimmer to it. It feels purplish gray, but then in this book, it's like a more muted purple. I felt like when we applied it, the shimmer was much more prominent, but now that it's dry, I don't see the shimmer as much, but the shimmer is like a bluish shimmer, which was cool. Okay, the last colors are from Dominant Industry, which is another Korean brand. These are the ones that I don't really recommend putting into fountain pens. Well, the ones with shimmer, which are these two, just because I think their shimmer is a bit bigger than, like, let's say Waringal. So this first one here, November Leaves, was another light color that I wanted. So it looks like this in my book. I ended up filling my TWSBI with it and then doing some sketches. Ideally, I wanted something that is a little bit light and I could just sketch really quickly and then go over it with another color. So you can see here, like, I'm sketching, but I go over with a darker color. I thought it was perfect for that. In the Midori, it looks like this. It's a bit more saturated, as you can see, compared to in my book. Still light, I really like it. So either way, it just was a nice color to pick up. Early Spring is really cool. It's a shimmer ink. The Pearl series from Dominant Industry, that's how you know it's gonna have shimmer versus they have a standard series. I actually saw someone test Early Spring in the store and they got me to get one as well. So here is Early Springs. It's like the shimmery unicorn blood color. It's like a silver. There's some greens, there's some purples and pinks. It's super nice. And in my book, it looks completely different. It looks like this. So it's like a bluish gray, but it has more like an orange tint rather than like a pink and green. So I love that this one in both books, it has like different variations, but still beautiful. This last one is really light. Originally, I just wanted this one because I was on a quest for light inks. In the Midori, it feels almost a little too light. This is it right here. And then in my book, I felt like it was perfect. It looks like this. This is the value that I would want if I'm sketching. However, I realized that I don't know if I can put this in a fountain pen because it's the Alchemist series. It has a little bit of like something in it. I don't know if it's shimmer, but apparently in UV lights, it will change colors. Let me just open it and show you guys. I don't know if anyone is familiar with the Alchemist series. It's like semi-new. It's not as filled because I just gave some samples out to friends, but it turns into this bluish color from orange to blue. And you can see, like, see that shimmer? It's like a little blue. So I wasn't sure if this is going to clog my TWSBI or not. We actually spent 4 hours in Yoseka the first day, and then I came back at the second day. I probably spent like another 30 minutes or so in there, and we were rushed because we had to catch traffic to go to the wedding venue. And we went back because I realized I originally was going so that I could get a light ink, but because this ink, this is the one that I got, it had something in it, I realized, oh, I don't want to clog my TWSBI. So that's why I ended up getting this blue and then November Leaves. I forgot if I mentioned the name of this one, but it's Moonstone. Really nice color. I still have to test if it's going to change in the light, but maybe we can do that for another video. That's all of the inks that we got from Yoseka. The other items that we got was this really cute hat with their logo. It was actually the last one that we got, so there were no more available after that. In the same neighborhood, we checked out our friends' art studios. Here are some goodies from them. This one is by OK Super Day. He also has a YouTube channel, and if you want to learn how to make little stuff and things, little figurines, go check out his channel. I think this would be really cute as a fountain pen holder. Oh my god, look at that. I need more of these guys. Can you make more? Also got pins from Bao Bei. These are so cute. This one looks like our evil boy Bao, and he do be doing that. Both amazing artists in Brooklyn. Yoseka does have a YouTube channel and social media, so if you want to follow more of their news updates, and they do reviews on a lot of inks and papers as well, you can check out their channel. In the same area, we went to this grocery store called Dashi Okume. Really recommend it if you're into contemporary art, if you're into Japanese goods, or just good design in general. What I loved about the store was that there were different sections for different companies or small businesses. So we spent most of the time in the grocery section. We picked up some dashi. You could sample all their dashi. They had different types. They even have formulas for how they made the dashi, and you can customize and make your own as well. I loved going around the store and also looking at the ceramics and the stationery section. I feel like this is a great place just to go and look at shape inspiration, color inspiration, material inspiration. It's just a really cool store in general. If you're walking around this area, there's lots of thrift stores as well. So if you want to look at more antique and vintage things, you can do that too. Still in Brooklyn, there is this other cafe that I would recommend going to. It's called Loaf on Paper, and it is by I think it's a stationery store in Manhattan. So just like another 40 minutes subway back into downtown. A lot of people recommended me to check out this cafe and the stationery store called Nico Neko Sakaya. We didn't have time to go to the stationery store, but if you go check out the cafe in Brooklyn, in the back there is a stationery store that opens at noon. I ended up getting the sesame latte and Fom got the fruity drink. If we go back to Manhattan another time, we'll check out the stationery store. I'm really sad that I missed that one. And if you like bag designs, I recommend walking to Bagu. This is only like a couple blocks down from the cafe. You can see their collection in person. I've never been to a Bagu flagship store, so that was really fun just to see all the shapes and fun bags that they had. The other stationery store that I wanted to call out is called Top Drawer. It's a leather goods store. They also have other stationery items, really fancy items from Europe and Japan. I like that you're able to test things like their watercolors, their crayons, their fountain pens, their papers. We spent a bit of time in here just testing out some of their materials and their paper types. We actually went to 2 locations. There's one like in Soho, and then there's one that's a little bit more mid-Manhattan. Both had different selections. Oh, they also have fountain inks from Tag Stationery in Kyoto. So I also recommend checking those out if you're interested in inks that are great for writing and have like really pretty shading values. Let me show you the other pages that I did on this trip as well. Besides ink swatching, did a lot of ink swatching. These are all the colors that I tested out, but you know, we ended up only buying certain ones. I had this thought on the subway. You can pause and read it if you want, but at some point I'm going to digitize it and post it on Instagram. This is just me testing out the November Leaves ink, more swatching. Here's some junk that I got from the wedding. So these were flowers that were at the reception table. Beautiful flowers. I really wanted to draw them. They look like this when they were alive. And then here's like a tag that I got from Walmart. I actually got this cardigan that I thought looked kind of cool. I like the shape of the cardigan, so I wanted to just do some research and look at the material, look at the cut, see if I can make a version that I might like. And then this is a napkin from the rehearsal dinner. Really pretty napkin. I didn't want to waste it, so I have it in here. And then some more doodles all around. This was my name tag at the reception table. We did go to the Bandai store in Brooklyn, so we got some one-piece cards. This was the pack that had just came out the day of, so we went day of, got that. And then Yoseka has some stickers, so I grabbed that. And then this is the business card from the cafe. After that, my pages got kind of wonky because these were not dried at all. I got it straight from the vase, just put it in, and I realized it made my book so wet and crinkly, but it's okay. It's kind of a vibe, and you know, it's just a sketchbook. I think I was sketching these in the car when we were driving to the venue and back to Manhattan. Some more doodles, and that's it. Yeah, the book got really crinkly from the flowers, but I think it's fine. I think that's it for the vlog and haul. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks so much for watching. I feel like I started posting more consistently back in January-ish of this year, so it's been like 9 months of doing more consistent long-form content, which has been really fun. I think to my surprise, there were so many people in the fountain pen community that started joining in on my channel, and I love that we just talk about fountain ink things in the comments. I'm still very new to the community and the hobby, but I really enjoy just looking at all the colors, trying out all the pens, yapping about it with you guys. yeah, so I wanted to thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys next time. I post every Monday, 12 p.m. PST. I think I want to do more swatching videos. I've only done a few. I feel like this is the chunk I've done, but I have so many inks that I just need to get back into it. My binder is still kind of empty. I'm waiting to get all my colors in so that I can do it by hue. I did swatch the little sample inks that I have, so I have those. If you came by to my table at Small Art Mart in Seattle and dropped off a bunch of these inks, I lost your contact. Like, the paper got wet and then your name, your info, everything disappeared. So if this is you, if you're the one that gave me all these inks at Small Art Mart, please let me know, because I want to send you some sample inks, but I can't anymore because, yeah. I think my favorite actually became Deception's Pass, the wet pen. It sold out online. I'm so sad, but I did fill my Twisby diamond with it because I just love that color variation. So I've been using it in my sketchbook. Okay, let me know if you guys want any more specific videos. I haven't vlogged in a long time. Most of my content has just been like draw with me's, ink stuff, because I think vlogging is kind of hard. I think like documenting things and remembering what I did, that's kind of hard for me. I get like so much, I'm sure a lot of you can relate. I get so much content on my phone and then I just forget to upload it and I forget what I even did. So the fact that I'm even filming this and talking about it is kind of a success for me. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.